Welcome guys to episode 3, CodeRed Ninjas. Today is very interesting. I hope you guys are excited. Are you excited?
Definitely.
I am personally excited.
You're excited?
Yeah.
So today is actually a follow-up of episode 2. Remember we were talking about ransomware. Now, today we need to understand and debug this thing of, is there anything like being ransomware ready? Really? Yeah, that thing has really been striking my mind, and I think it's a conversation that we have. So let's start from there. Do you guys believe, is there anything like being ransomware ready?
Yeah, there is being ransomware ready, but before you are even ransomware ready, you have to understand how the ransomware attacks take place. You see, like the one we were discussing the other week. The easiest example was the president's website being defaced and all of that, but how did they do that? And there are so many other ransomware attacks that have taken place. An example could be, if I can just like explain it in layman's, there's in security there's a term that's called initial access. Initial access could be someone has clicked on a phishing email, someone has
What is a phishing email?
A phishing email is like an email pretending to be like a legitimate email, like you are really expecting, say you're going through your emails and then you see your manager has sent you an email. But then in due sense,
Salary increase. I know that is very
salary increase. You'd be tempted to click on that link.
True.
You see, that's a very basic example of how initial access can take place. And once that one has been executed or something like that, if someone clicks that link, it could give an actor or an attacker now the access that they were actually looking for. So that's just a basic example of what a ransomware attack how a ransomware attack could start. But then now we can now start mapping it to now how can we avoid such an attack taking place? How can we avoid us clicking the phishing emails? How can we avoid an attacker getting access via any other means? Now we're talking malware execution, you see, and many others that I wouldn't get into the technicalities.
So there's something that you have said, the malware execution. I'd be interested probably for someone who would want to understand what's a malware really, for like someone who wants to get the basic understanding. What's a malware?
It's a creation of, it can be a script or what else?
File, maybe.
File that is, it seems legitimate, but it's malicious. In short, malicious software. That is what malware is in general. So it will give an attacker a foothold. It manipulates, let's say, our website. You click on our website, this link, you wanted to log into Facebook, but this link is not Facebook, it's someone else's website that has been made to look like Facebook. That you click a link, in short, it gives an enemy the foothold to your computer, to your devices, to your files, anything else. So malware is basically malicious software. It's not what you actually had intended to access. In short.
Yeah, actually that's very interesting because I realize attackers use those kind of interesting things that they wrap it in a document, as we were saying, or a file. Once you click it, then they are in, or they bring in whatever they want to bring into your machine, into your phone, or something like that. So what I'm getting from this part is that you should know your enemy if you really have to understand this whole thing about ransomware, right?
Know yourself and know your enemy, both of them.
And that basically takes us to now threat intelligence.
Threat intelligence aspect of things.
So threat intelligence will basically help you to map these stages out. It helps you to now understand all the stages that actors or attackers use. Now, when you have the intelligence, you can be able to identify them easily from a point of they have started here. You expect now they could go this other route, and the MITRE-ATT&CK frameworks does that so well.
They're basically the kind of a guideline of what showcases how an attacker would move from one level to another.
So there's know your system. There's this teacher, I've forgotten his name, he always says assets. Use the S as dollar signs, because your assets are where your money is. So if your assets are compromised, a lot of your money is also compromised. So you need to know every asset that you have in your company, either small or large. It will affect you one way or another.
That's very interesting. I think one of the interesting things that I have come to realize also over time is that threat intelligence has a lot to do with proactiveness. And I think that is where we should all be at. You should not be waiting for you to be compromised, the enemy to be at your foot, at your doorstep, for you to start running after solutions. I think now that brings in the issue of us hunting out these threats. Then the question is, how can we be able to hunt out the threats that we are talking about? Or how can this threat intelligence play out in a practical sense? Me as an individual or as an organization? How can we be able to do all this, that we are able to gather the information around these ransoms?
First, the easiest would be a lot of research. A lot of research, and just what we mentioned right now about knowing your system, knowing your assets, everything. Now when you do a lot of research, when you know yourself, you know your enemy, it will take you to the level where you have to know your battles. So when you're doing research, you would be comprising all the three and trying to identify, okay, my enemy is coming to this war. What battle is this? And why do they want to attack me? What kind of weapons do they have? What can I then have, so that if they come with a gun, I have a machete. Who's going to win that battle?
Definitely, the guys are gun.
Exactly.
The drone.
But if I come with maybe a bomb, I might be ready. You see, it depends with where they're gonna attack me from. You see, so I know my attack surface. I know where could be open, what doors, what windows are open. I know what my enemy wants from me. And then I know how to fight those battles. And now the research is what entails now going, doing OSINT, open source intelligence, doing research using threat feeds. The dark web gives more information about all these people. Now you get to understand what type of threat actors are there, what types of attacks they actually do. What are you vulnerable to as a person, as an individual, as an organization?
That's true. Also, that aspect of know what you have. You say that you know you have a wall and how they will attack. Now, in aspect of you have third parties, you cannot protect the third parties, because we are using third parties when I use another organization software to build my own software, for example. So how can you go about that to be prepared for ransomware in case a third party gets compromised? And this is very critical to your system. How would you protect yourself?
I think we were actually talking about that yesterday.
I think that's very interesting thing. And most of the organizations nowadays are actually going the third party way of integrating softwares. But the question is, how are they ready? Are they even ready for that? So I think one of the key things that should be in place here, when you're doing vendor onboarding or the third-party applications that you're bringing on board, the screening should be so thorough that you're able to understand that these people have measures in place. Get to understand, how do you guys hunt for these threats? How is your security from your end, so that you clearly know that the people you're engaging, they are equally ready for them to be able to do that. And then now this boils down to the aspect of the SLAs, service levels agreements, that you're going to sign with this person. Ensure that these guys have whatever that it takes. So I'd say for me, the very onset, if we come to a conversation of discussing how these people should be, the first thing should be when you're bringing them on board. Right before you bring them on board, make sure that you are at par in as far as all that is concerned. And
in the event they get attacked, Should you be ready to shift completely your whole system to another one? Should you always be prepared with that?
That's where the threat intel
aspect
comes in, and now you turn it into defense.
Now
You turn it into defense, something where now you can see actively what is happening to your systems. You onboard things like monitoring tools, you onboard detection tools, things that are going to help you now see how everything is moving around your system. So that information that you're collecting from threat intelligence, it's basically useless if you're not using it. So you turn it into defense.
So actually, to add on that, I think the visibility aspect now comes in handy. You have things like Intel.Africa Hackon. Onboarding such, that's a tool that is going to help you be able to have the visibility of what is happening there as far as threat actors are concerned. So assuming I have a third party that I've integrated, the thing that I'm going to build as an organization is that I'm going to have that visibility of monitoring. We have the tools that we can be able to look out for that are going to help you. We call them the SIM tools. Security, information and event management. So basically, it helps you to monitor each and everything what is happening in your third-party onboarded applications. In case of anything, then you are able to know how to work around, escalate it, and even stop it. So I think that's it.
So to finish off, which tools would you say it's best for intelligence gathering, for the ransomware preparedness and all that? What should one have?
Like
you've said already,
Intel.Africa Hackon. I think that's a local customized tool, but it has a lot of capabilities, and I find it very user friendly to use. I think guys should check out on that because it has all that. And then there are tools that we are currently building, like the one that helps you to automate all these traffic that is flowing and get to see malicious traffic that is coming from these ransomware groups, so that you can. Automation.
Okay.
So anyway, it's been nice, guys, to have this conversation. I think
can go on
we can go on for
forever.
All day, because threat intel and threat hunting is one very interesting thing. But guys, check out for our next episode. We're gonna be bringing in again another hot stuff. So we see you again in the next episode.